Hey, what is up everybody? This is Blackblade, and you know how we all have that one game that, for one reason or another, we've never been able to beat? It might be because the game is genuinely difficult, or maybe the mechanics just cannot and will not click. But we all have at least one, even if you haven't found it yet. Well, I found mine almost 11 years ago when at a family gathering for some holiday, can't remember the details, when my uncle gave me a present. It was a Star Wars game that you have probably heard of before, called Rogue Squadron 2. And what a game it is! As a launch title for the Nintendo GameCube, it really does show off the graphical capabilities the 6th generation of consoles would have to offer, and in my opinion still holds up to this day. But this isn't a review of the game. I might do one someday, but the reason I'm making this video is because, despite how long I've had this game, I have never been able to beat it. Well, that all changes today because I am determined to finally lay to rest what has been one of my greatest gaming challenges once and for all. And I am taking you all with me because, why not? So before we start playing, the first thing we have to do, since this game is very arcade-like, is enter a profile name. I could use my most recent profile, but I feel like I should start fresh for this video. But what name to pick? There we go, that should work. So we're in the game and there are 2 levels openly available to us. A sandbox tutorial stage on Tatooine. I see what you did there. And the first level on the Death Star run. Seeing as I'm just focusing on beating the game and have run through the Tatooine stage a million times by now, I'm gonna skip it and start here. At the start of each level you spawn in a hangar bay and can run around to all the different ships to learn a bit about them, and select which one to use for the mission. Upon revisiting stages, you can play them with other ships, but for this first time the only one I can access is the X-Wing. First level's not that complicated. Shoot down the towers, then the TIE fighters, then go through the trench to fire a missile down the thermal exhaust port. You'll also notice here that this game looks pretty good. Okay, obviously not compared to today's standards, but this came out in 2001, and if people's choices for best graphics were Max Payne, GTA 3, and Aquanox, whatever that last one is, I don't see why this isn't up there. The draw distance can be a little poor, but the model work and backgrounds are amazing. Even when you fight on planet surfaces later in the game, it still looks fantastic, but I'm getting ahead of myself. So somehow, I managed to complete this mission on my first try, even though I lost 2 of my 3 lives. I gotta admit, I didn't think I'd do that good. So what does the results screen say? Well, apparently not. I didn't even get a participation award. Alright then, apparently it took me too long, but what can I say? Better slow than dead. Wait, that's not how that goes. So now we move on to the next level, Ice On Corridor Ambush. This one's more open and has a simpler objective. Shoot down enemy fighters to protect the fleet. Not all that noteworthy until halfway through when you switch to the next vehicle, the A-Wing. This ship's faster, but at the cost of health, because of course. So you have to keep an eye on the enemy's movement and fire so that you don't—
Transports are getting ripped to pieces.
Once again, I somehow managed to beat this level on my first try, and only dying once this time. But I still underperformed here, so again, no medal earned. With that over with, we move on to the level that I imagine everybody would anticipate in a Star Wars game, the Battle of Hoth. Here you get to use the 3rd ship in the game, and by ship I mean Snowspeeder. Kind of a ship, I guess, but you have to stay closer to the ground, and instead of missiles, you have tow cables. The first section has you shooting down AT-STs approaching the base while directing the ground troops. Oh yeah, I should mention the commands. In each level you have 2 squad mates, which will frequently ask you what your orders are. The options are simple. Form up, target enemies, target artillery, and— One thing I've noticed is that it seems like they have little effect, but if you pay attention to the background, you'll see just how helpful they are. Anyway, the squad system is very important in this level, not only because you control ground units too, but because Luke, whom you've been playing throughout the game at this point, gets his speeder shot down like in the movie, and you then take control of Captain Antilles, who you'll play as for the rest of the game. Also, the AT-ATs are super easy, by the way, so long as you have more patience than a squirrel. Man, I'm doing pretty good this time. Better than the Death Star run. Alright, final section. Switch to X-Wings and shoot down the TIE bombers before they can blow up the transport ships. Okay, everything's good, haven't suffered that many casualties, and that's it! I did it! And first try again! Come on, game, I went all out this time. Now give me my bronze medal and I'll be on my way. Fine then, next level, Prisoners in the Mall, which introduces the player to the Y-Wing, my favorite ship in the game because bombing runs are awesome. I remember struggling a lot with this level my most recent attempt, and part of that is because I was in a scenario where I couldn't really pay attention to what was being said in the game, which I do not recommend playing this game like that, as dialogue is essential to understanding what to do, and I like that a lot actually. That being said, I did encounter my first game over here. Not because I wasn't paying attention, but because I was stupid and fired all of my missiles in one spot at the communication relay rather than launching them at each individual satellite, meaning I had to wait longer for them to come back and ran out of time. The second attempt was successful though, and of course no medal. And now we come to Mission 5, Razer Rendezvous, where you have to destroy a Star Destroyer before they capture the rebel ship. This mission introduces the B-Wing, and is the farthest I've ever been able to get in this game, as the time limit crept up on me each attempt. But now that I'm determined to finally finish this game, I won't fail. I almost did, but once again, dialogue hints. In previous attempts, I could never figure out what to do after destroying the shield generators, but after hearing someone say this,
now let's hit that command deck.
I fired everything I had at the location and mission accomplished. Still no medal though, but at this point, is there really any chance that I'll get one? So that mission I've never been able to beat before, but I did have some former knowledge on it. Everything here on out is brand new territory for both you and me. And it's gonna get way more difficult as a parent because my footage is still only 1/6 of the way through. So strap yourselves in, boys! Vengeance on Cullis Mission 6. The mission starts and whoa! I know I already touched on this point twice, but this is hands down my favorite level in terms of the visuals. It looks like something that came out of the original Combat Evolved. Gameplay-wise, it's still good, but now it's going back to the difficulty I remember. The Imperial fighters are relentless in attacking the transport vessel you need to protect, meaning your best bet is to shoot down the fighters when they're preparing for another attack run. You also need to stay relatively close, but this is the first level in which I could argue speed fluctuation is important. What worked for me was to slow when aiming and boost when dodging. Once the transport ship finally lands, you have to dock close by and switch to a snowspeeder, I know the name doesn't fit here, and take down the approaching AT-ATs using the tried and true method. Then you switch again, this time to a Y-Wing, and have to bomb the crap out of the smaller walkers approaching from under the lake. Then launch some more bombs into the interior of the crashed Star Destroyer and protect the ground units as they get to the crash site.
Everybody got that?
This mission easily has the most objectives and stages to it, including pretty much everything you've learned and done throughout the game thus far. So it's fairly challenging, but after going back to it a day later, I was able to beat it without much trouble. Now we can move on to the next level. I can't believe it! I've never been so happy to earn a bronze medal in my entire life! I honestly thought at this point that I would end up going through the entire game and not earn a single medal. But lo and behold, I did it! Now watch as all this joy is quickly sucked out, as this next level is without question the worst in the entire game. Oh boy, here we go. Imperial Academy Heist, a fun level in concept where you have to sneak past the enemy scanners and hijack an Imperial shuttle, then bring it back to the rendezvous point. There are a couple problems though. The first is that even though you get an instant game over if you get spotted by the scanners, once you pass them they become alert to your presence anyway, so it makes no sense why you'd sneak around. The second problem though is by far the worst one. They never tell you where the rendezvous point is. I checked everywhere, listened to every line of dialogue, but couldn't find anything that says where to go. Now these problems were pretty frustrating, so once again I took a break, came back the next day, and why am I in a snowspeeder? Why is there mist everywhere? No, seriously, why did this happen? I can't even change this in the menu. The Y-Wing is gone. Not only did this come out of nowhere, but it makes the level even worse. Now you're grounded further, and you don't have any bombs, so taking down enemy fighters preemptively is no longer an option, and destroying turrets takes more time. Also, I found an alternate path where a lone TIE fighter is docked, which seemingly you'd be able to switch to, except that you can't do so when using the snowspeeder. Regardless, I still managed to finally beat this stage by going around and destroying all the turrets in the academy, then taking a path with the shuttle that just so happened to be the correct one this time. I didn't get a medal, of course, but I don't care. I'd be quite content if I never go near that level again for the rest of my life. Alright, this video is going long, so let's speed things up. Thankfully, the next level, Raid on Bespin, is much better, having you take down airships with turrets on an A-wing to stop them from blowing up fuel tanks. That way the rebel transport ships can harvest the fuel. This time the struggle was my mistake. I was trying to destroy each individual turret and didn't realize until half an hour later that you can just shoot the fuel tanks to destroy them completely. What makes it worse is that the idea even came to mind, but I thought, nah, they didn't do it in the preview of the level, so it won't work. I should just learn to go with my gut when playing games. This level also lets you later switch to the Cloud Car, the last vehicle outside of the ones available through Replay. After that, we get what is my favorite level in the game, the Battle of Endor. This one's basically a more extensive version of Razer Rendezvous, but instead of it being an Imperial vessel against a Rebel one, this one lives up to the title Battle, with you shooting down multiple fighters and concluding with a fight against 2 Star Destroyers this time. Once again, I died a lot here, but I didn't mind as much because this level was just plain fun. But I might be a little biased because I got another bronze medal! Woo! This brings us to the final level in the game, and the climax to the original trilogy, Strike at the Core. Oh boy, can you imagine if I somehow managed to beat the final level on my first try? That'd be amazing. What? You expected me to show footage that I did it? No. In fact, this is the level where I died the most. Luckily, I found a solution to every obstacle, but this took way longer than it felt like it should have, despite how short the level really is. I got discouraged, felt like quitting, but I wasn't going to let this game beat me yet again. It was time to lay this challenge to rest, once and for all. Come on, shoot down the fighters, dodge the beams, blow up the core. Come on, I can see the end, I can make it! Yes! I did it! Took 11 years, but I finally did it! Woo! And then realized that most of the footage didn't record audio, so that scene's missing a lot of its impact. I did get a silver medal though, so I think they cancel each other out. Well, that was Rogue Squadron 2, and I gotta say, I haven't felt this accomplished for being a game in a while. It feels good to finally put this challenge to rest, and who knows, I might go back and play it again now that I know what to do. For now though, I have a video to wrap up. Hope you all enjoyed, and if you did, be sure to slice that like button in half, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and let me know in the comments if you'd like to see more videos in this, adventure type style. I can think of a couple games like this that I have similar stories with, or could make into their own videos in this format, so I'd be happy to do it if you guys would be happy to watch it. But once again, hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.